A Living Branch by Kim Bokos. Oatlands 2117. Narrated by David Tredinnick. To attract tourists, many country towns showcase the charm and beauty of their historical buildings. Several of these structures were built specifically as banks that, of course, were vital for the local economy. One such building stood proudly on the main street of Corowa, a picturesque town set along the Murray River. Known as the birthplace of Federation, Corowa played a vital role in Australia's journey to become a nation. It was in this unique setting that the CBC, Commercial Banking Company of Sydney Limited, established a branch. An elegant two-storey structure nestled between the Australia Hotel and the Rural Bank. The actual building was impressive, housing 6 bedrooms, a large eat-in kitchen and a lounge room where one would listen to the radio, as television was not yet available in the 1950s. In keeping with the times, it had only one bathroom, but was blessed with 2 staircases, a steep wooden maid's one, and the main grand carpeted cedar ascent, which hugged 3 walls to gloriously display a stained glass window towards the top. Beneath the high ceilings were floors of tessellated tiles, along with ample Axminster carpet. With its marble fireplaces and full-length curtains, an almost majestic interior was created. The black Bakelite party-line telephone sat on the hall table, and there was even an electronic bell system in each room to summons the non-existent maid from the kitchen. Stained glass also framed the residence front door that opened into a vaulted foyer leading to both the family quarters and the manager's office. The banking chamber was crafted from fine cedar with wide counters built for busy transactions. The safe was in full view and was most reassuring with its thick protection. Outside, the yard was a world unto itself. A manicured side lawn hosted many childhood games. Drop the hanky among them. A hedge divided this space from a backyard filled with treasures, a workshop, a woodpile, a concreted area, and a grassed patch perfect for a game of cricket. Beyond lay a more magical domain. Between the chookyard and trees was a scrubby zone, ideal for building mud towns. Add a few toy vehicles, and days of entertainment were guaranteed. Nearby was an orchard, with fruit that could not quite satisfy a sweet tooth, running down to the back boundary where the obligatory 44-gallon drum incinerator burned rubbish every Sunday afternoon. At the heart of the property stood 2 beautiful trees. One was perfect for climbing, its limbs just right for the many young explorers of Corowa. However, this tree was just the supporting act for the star. A fully grown Moreton Bay fig. Giant tentacles of roots toyed with the earth to claim its position. The trunk was almost as broad as a young child was tall and easily supported a heaven of dark green canopy. Too vast for general play, but one of its sturdy branches grew parallel to the ground at a height that made it perfect for the suspension of a rope swing, complete with a homemade wooden seat. The steady back and forth motion would set the beat for many counting and singing games. Pure joy. Each bank branch had only one manager who was a figure of importance in the town. He had the authority to approve or decline financial ventures, with the role extending far beyond the bank's walls. Often the treasurer of community organisations, he attended meetings, visited homes and farms, and engaged in informal business during the 6 o'clock swill. His reputation was built on personal connections and trust. His wife played a key role, being expected to be active in the local community, whether through the CWA, Country Women's Association, church groups, or various committees. As married women were not encouraged to work, these activities gave many intelligent ladies means of socialisation and an outlet for their creativity. Together, the manager and his wife were pillars of town life. Banks were open on Saturday mornings, allowing businesses to rest easy knowing their takings of pounds, shillings and pence was safely locked away. Banking was personal. Tellers knew your name, and managers often knew your family history. A trip to town meant putting your shopping in a string bag or the boot of the family's F.J. Holden. A visit to the bank was part of the weekly rhythm of life. With luck, you would have enough left over to deposit a small amount towards a hoped-for holiday to Queensland. Whilst banks have elaborate advertising campaigns extolling their services, branches have closed to the extent that some regional centres have only a post office to carry out their transactions, and others are creating their own cooperatives as the round trip to an established bank is untenable. New purposes have been found for many former bank buildings. Some have become lawyers' and accountants' offices, libraries, boutique accommodation, and one even became a yoga studio. Should one be fortunate enough to have a local branch, they would be greeted by fewer tellers, and possibly another staff member urging you to use an ATM or other machine within the bank walls. Dominated by digital services, online platforms are efficient but impersonal. Long phone queues and hard-to-book appointments have replaced friendly faces behind counters. Some bank loans, with their flexible lines of credit, create the illusion of bottomless funds and so hardly encourage careful budgeting. Yet, no app, no digital interface nor online bank could capture the sense of security and community once felt by those who walked into the Corowa branch, shook the manager's hand, and knew their savings were in trusted care. That bank, like many others in country towns, was more than bricks and mortar. Apart from providing essential services, it was a home and a hub. No bank, however, would have sufficient funds to buy the simple pleasure of swinging under the living branch of that magnificent tree that grew in our Federation's birthplace. The end.